It's 1972, a music review. The first debut album by J J Cale called Naturally. Well, this album's from an excellent guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter, as J J Cale is, and it's a bit of a charmer. He has a unique approach to funk, blues, and country, and to say it's relaxed and mellow is an understatement. It's one of the most enjoyable debut albums at that time. Although I must admit, on first listening back in '72, I found it a real bore, and it lacked any sort of impact on me as I listened to it. All the tracks seemed the same. But I think that reflected really on how poor my listening was and how rigid my appreciation of music was. I was very fixated on the heavy rock scenario. And certainly it's in latter years that I've really got a lot out of this album. J J claims that he put the record together, half of it on his own and the other half with the band, although many people have sort of said that he used a lot of overdubs, which he does, but he also has a large following of musicians, and there will be a slide at the end to show who played on this. It's got the lyrics are very simple, appropriate, but effective, and they tend to be about missing women and the resulting problems of that, or bad feelings that he's experiencing for no particular reason. The three undisputed classics on here, and After Midnight is the one that comes readily to note. The song that was covered by Eric Clapton. But there are a couple of others, and I won't spoil that just yet as to what they were. A really cool raccoon guy is on the front cover, but I've got absolutely no idea what he's supposed to mean. So I want to go through this track by track as I usually do. Let's get started with "Call Me the Breeze," the first track. It's it creates a picture of a southern dirt-like room, cowboy atmosphere with that chugging pace, that atmosphere. It's a country blues. It eats your heart out, and at 2 minutes 41 is over before you get a sweat on. Most of these songs are just about between 2 and 3 minutes, which is probably epitomizes the style that Cale does. He doesn't want you to get too bored with long guitar solos, etc. Track 2 is called "The Doctor," a much slower song with some beautiful horn intro, and there's some really nice drums on it that sneak up on you. And then the lead guitar and horns interlock. It's snoozy excellence, as I see it, with dark lyrics. And of course the track fades out, just like your life does. Track 3, "Don't Go to Strangers." There's a social message in here to tread hand in hand with that slowed down riff to enable that picking style, which is atypical of Cale's work. Track 4, "Woman I Have," has some nice harmonica touches with the fast up-tempo piano licks. It's ably supported by those punchy horns again, and there's some nice lead work by JJ. Track 5 is "Magnolia." This track is over 3 minutes. It drifts in like a light breeze. The atmosphere for me was very New Orleans, sleepy hot afternoons with a slow blues on piano, idyllic mood, and some wonderful guitar break, meticulously picked. and plus there's a little bit more harmonica to soak up the heat. Track 6 is Clyde. This is very much a hoedown with some violin to match. It really is a dancing montage, country at its best with that picking style blues. Track 7 then, Crazy Mama, a slow blues that has an atypical lead lick as you collide with sleep and awaken with that spirit of slide guitar. It's sedate and exquisitely played for its simplicity. So track 8, Nowhere to Run, starts with horns upping the tempo. There's a nice rhythmic piano and also a touch of harmonica. It's a jaunty piece of rock. Well, maybe a bit of an exaggeration then. To track 9 then, the most famous song on the album, After Midnight, of course, much slower than Clapton's cover version, and of course it was wrote by JJ. The bass and piano combo drives the tune, and JJ's vocal is neatly blended in to the pondering pace, but it's memorable. To track 10 then, River Runs Deep, nice bongos to start us off, and some intricate picking leads into the melody. Again, the mood is calm as usual. And then on to penultimate track, Bringing It Back. The horns again a feature, and the slide guitar also has a mention. The pace is quite up tempo, and he likes harmonica. It spices it up alongside the punchy horns. It's foot-tapping stuff. What else do you expect? It's J J Cale. And finally, track 12, Crying Eyes, the second track over 3 minutes. So you get a bit of a time to get into it. More delicate guitar knits in with the gentle piano, and JJ's vocals is layered lightly on top. Another stab at loneliness, this one. And now let's stay in the mood and listen to it all over again. That's what J J Cale's debut naturally makes you think, really. You come to the end and you want to start all over. It's a delectable piece of work, and sticks out really in his discography, although there are a number of other albums just as good, but of a similar ilk. So that's it then, 1972, Naturally by J J Cale.